Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to this explainer where we're jumping headfirst into the chaotic, totally cutthroat martial arts world of Jianghu. Today, we're breaking down the absolutely incredible second episode of Whispers of Fate. We are untangling a super dense, mesmerizing web of betrayals, shadow organizations, and masterminds. We're looking at a story where alliances can turn fatal in a heartbeat and where the most elegant figures are hiding the absolute deadliest secrets. To make sense of this elite detective board of a plot, here's our roadmap. We're going to hit 1, the bitter brotherhood, 2, a trail of clues, 3, the mind control pill, 4, an explosive tragedy, and finally 5, the boiling point. Starting with Section 1, the bitter brotherhood, a ghost from the past. Our inciting incident actually doesn't start with the current mystery at all. It starts with a ghost from the past and a violently fractured relationship that sets everything into motion. We have to talk about this epic rivalry because the contrast is wild. On one hand, you have Tang Lici, our brilliant 200 IQ mastermind. He's got striking white hair, flawless silk robes, and is giving absolute savage, toxically attractive mastermind energy. But make no mistake, he has a freezing cold heart and basically treats everyone like pawns on a chessboard. And on the other hand, you have his former martial arts brother, Liu Dian. He's this bitter, rock star antagonist who plays the pipa, which is a traditional stringed instrument, and he is just completely consumed by tragic envy and a massive grudge. The root of this grudge takes us back 4 years to the peach grove of the Zhou Tower. In a flashback, we learn that Liu Dian viciously attacked Tang Lici out of absolutely nowhere. Instead of a fair fight, Liu Dian just choked him and drove a sword straight into his chest. And when Tang Lici dropped a jade flute, which was a symbol of their shared happy memories, Liu Dian didn't even hesitate. He mercilessly hacked it in half, destroying their past forever and casting a deadly curse. This context is absolutely crucial because it perfectly explains why Liu Dian is currently back, actively impersonating Tang Lici just to frame him for the horrific Hao Mana massacre. And how does Tang Lici respond to being framed by his former brother? Well, he drops this incredibly cold, calculating line. He says, "If you don't kill me, I will kill you." So the big takeaway here is that Tang Lici isn't driven by sentimental sadness anymore. He views friends and foes alike as mere pieces in his grand game. It's a chilling reminder that in this world, survival completely overrides sentimentality. Moving on to Section 2, a trail of clues. The mastermind hunts. With his reputation on the line and a murder pinned on him, our brilliant mastermind goes on the hunt. Step by step, Tang Lici proves exactly why he's the smartest person in the room. He uses this razor-sharp logic to corner the assassin who just silenced a key witness named Yang Shangqing. First step, Tang notes a mysterious disappearance at the Lingering Lodge. Second step, he finds a single, glossy, resilient goose feather. He instantly recognizes this isn't just any feather. It's actually from a messenger goose belonging to the Yanmen sect. Knowing the region's geography, his third step is deducing the killer would take the westward river route to avoid running into his own sect. So, what does he do? He simply waits on a painted boat and intercepts the killer perfectly. It's just a brilliant example of how combining small environmental clues with geographical knowledge can help you anticipate someone's next move. But he isn't working alone. Tang is joined by an incredible squad. Alongside our elegant, unbothered mastermind, we have Zhang Qinji. She is a fierce, independent, quick-blade queen from a prominent sword clan, completely bound by honor. And then we have Qi Yun. Qi Yun is basically the angry puppy bodyguard. He's high energy, incredibly hot-tempered, and will literally bite anyone who disrespects his master. Their dynamic just adds so much fantastic energy to this super tense pursuit. Which brings us to Section 3, the mind control pill, a horrific drug. Now, what rolls out of the dead assassin's clothes completely pivots this story from a standard mystery into sheer tragedy. Zhang Qinji discovers a small bottle dropped by the victim. Inside is the Scarlet Ghost 9 Hearts pill. We discover the existence of this horrifying drug that turns proud warriors into dependent, tortured puppets. You see, in the martial arts world, power is everything, right? This pill grants extreme, rapid leaps in martial arts prowess, but the cost is absolute devastation. It causes agonizing physical withdrawal, basically like ants biting your bones, which eventually leads to full-blown madness. Ultimately, whoever supplies the pill controls the life and mind of the user. And the captured assassin brilliantly, and tragically, illustrates the horrific reality of this drug. This assassin is actually Jiang Cheng. He's a righteous, beloved young master from the Yanmen sect. But over the last year, his life was systematically destroyed. Think about this timeline. A year ago, he moved to the mountains to train with his supposed best friend, the West Wind Sword Knight Feng Tuanxiang. But about 9 months ago, Feng secretly started drugging Jiang Cheng's meals with the Scarlet Ghost Pill. When Feng suddenly vanished 6 months ago, Jiang Cheng was left in agonizing withdrawal. Driven completely mad by the addiction and desperate to protect his sect's reputation from the fallout, he resorted to murder in the present day. He was a good man who was turned into a weapon by someone he completely trusted. It's a really heavy reminder of how easily loyalty can be weaponized against us. This perfectly sets up Section 4, an explosive tragedy, fatal misunderstanding. Just as Tang Lici offers Jiang Cheng a cruel but totally logical ultimatum regarding his impending death and his sect's honor, the situation goes completely off the rails. Tang realizes Jiang Cheng is hopelessly poisoned and offers to temporarily suppress the toxicity if Jiang provides some information. But honestly, it's just too late. Jiang Cheng's face swells, turning completely purple as he loses his mind to the drug's toxic grip. And then the unthinkable happens. A hidden gallworm, which is this dark parasitic explosive, just detonates inside him. Jiang Cheng violently explodes right in front of Tang Lici in a scene of absolute bloody chaos. And making matters exponentially worse, Jiang Cheng's grieving father, who is the leader of the Yanmen sect, arrives at that exact millisecond. He witnesses the immediate, gruesome aftermath and completely misinterprets the scene. Naturally, he assumes Tang Lici just murdered his son. And Tang Lici, well, instead of fighting his way out, he completely baffles everyone, including his own bodyguard Shi Yun, by just calmly putting his hands up and surrendering to the sect. Finally, we hit Section 5. The boiling point, trial by fire. Now we reach the climax, where the supposedly righteous Yanmen sect completely abandon their rules in the name of blinding revenge. So here is the huge question we are left with. How exactly does a 200 IQ mastermind escape a boiling pot? Because Tang Lici and his squad literally find themselves locked in metal cages suspended over a roaring fire. They've been sentenced by the grieving father to the brutal 3 blades and 6 holes water boiling punishment. The contrast in this execution scene is both incredibly tense and honestly kind of hilarious. The Yanmen sect is so blinded by grief, they are completely ignoring all the evidence of the goo worm that actually killed Jiang Cheng. Meanwhile, in the cages, Qi Yun is absolutely losing his mind. He is screaming, panicking, fully anticipating being cooked alive. But right next to him, Tang Lici remains flawlessly elegant. He just sits there in his white robes, entirely unbothered by the flames roaring below him, calmly telling Qi Yun that he never intended to escape on his own anyway. And right as the fire roars to its absolute peak, sword energy bursts through the air. The West Wind Sword Knight Feng Tuanxiang suddenly crashes the execution and extinguishes the flames. Yes, you heard that right. The very man who maliciously drugged Jiang Cheng's meals and ruined his life suddenly appears out of nowhere acting like a hero, stopping the execution and demanding to take custody of Tang Lici. Which brings us to this incredible quote from Tang Lici right before the rescue. He says, "Many things. Only when you reach a dead end will a turning point emerge." This just brilliantly illustrates Tang Lici's terrifying foresight. He knew the real culprit would be forced to show their face if Tang was pushed to the absolute brink. It leaves us with this provocative, completely mind-bending thought to wrap up this explainer. Did this absolute savage plan to get captured and almost boiled alive all along just to flush his enemies out of the shadows? With Tang Lici, the answer is probably yes. Thank you so much for joining me to unpack this unbelievable episode, and I'll catch you on the next deep dive.